Looking to see what the long-term actual usage of Wealthfront has been like? Well, then you're in the right place. I'm Wanderer001, and I've been using Wealthfront as my primary investing vehicle for the last 7.5 years. In fact, I have one of the longest running histories on YouTube doing these types of updates. So let's get into it. If you're here for just the quick hits, we'll start things off with Wealthfront has increased their API steadily over the course of 2023, and we are currently sitting at what you can see here of 5.3 with this little rocket, which indicates that this is a boosted APY. But if we come in here, we can see that as of filming, we are actually sitting at 4.8. If you're interested in getting that 5.3% like I have, I'll talk about that a little later. One of the other things that has changed with our cash accounts are you have up to $5 million in FDIC insurance across the partner banks. Because, well, if this is your first Wealthfront video that you're watching from me, you might not know everything that the cash account does for you. Look over there on the right-hand side of your screen for the playlist of all the Wealthfront videos that I've done before. But in short, Wealthfront's cash account spreads your cash amongst partner banks, which will allow it to increase the actual amount of FDIC insurance that you have. Now that we have our cash account out of the way, let's start talking about some of my other investment accounts. Starting off with my Roth account, this, much like I did last update, has been a little odd in that I am not steadily increasing my contributions to this, which is the best way to utilize Wealthfront is to dollar cost average into its utilization. Here you could see I did 1 and then 1. So I am worried about coming up against the cap for being able to contribute to my Roth IRA. So I wait until the end of the year and then do a backdoor Roth. In fact, this will be the first year that I actually do a backdoor Roth, and we'll be sure to document how that is using Wealthfront. But here we can see, so far my portfolio has lifetime return of 77.25, stating that I have a 6.5% risk score with a few asset tweaks, pulling some assets out of my bonds and putting them into my stocks. So it is not the pure 6.5 that you would get with Wealthfront if you started today. If we look 2023, we are up 8.1%. And if we look back at 2022, we could see things were down 17.45%. So we've got a long way to claw our way back up to things, but we are well on our way. Let's take a look at some other numbers. Well, if we come in here, we have our time weighted versus our money weighted. Time weighted currently, you can see we have 77.25. That's up there at the top. If we compare this to my last update, we only had 70.71. Money weighted return currently is 49.18. Previously, it was 42.10. So you can see these have gone up, and you can see the dividends earned for this account. Remember, this type of investing is long haul. You are going to pretty much not see giant spikes up and down as you would with individual investing because this is their index account. I also have a standard investment account, which we're going to check out next. And right here, we can see my current all-time for this account is 56.85. This one I have been steadily dollar cost averaging into because, well, it's an investment account, so I can do it much easier without having to worry about tax implications. The current risk score for this is set for 7.5, but it also has a targeted investment of technology because I added that in one of my previous videos, again, over there in the corner if you're interested. Here you can see estimated tax savings. That is because it tax loss harvests things. So in 2023, I've only done 33.7 cents, but in 2022, you could see $367 of tax loss harvesting. That means that it will sell underappreciated assets and buy other ones to offset. And on paper, you take a loss, which is deductible in your taxes at the end of the year. That is a very nice feature that Wealthfront has that I really appreciate. But if we're coming in to see what we actually have been doing, if I come in here, we're going to check our time weighted. Currently is 56.85. Previously, it was 47.88. Our money weighted is 44.53. Previously, it was 32.14. So again, we have gone up. You can see the maximum amount of dividends that we have here, but this is over the course of 7.5 years. Now that we've gotten all the quick hits out of the way, let's talk about some of the new things that Wealthfront has introduced. And the first being, it might be a little tricky to find it, but if we come up to our transfer money, we can come down to open new account, and Wealthfront has a new account type. Here we can see automated bond portfolio. And this is going to be just like your Roth IRA or index investment account. This is going to have you answer a few questions, and it will allow you to set up a bond account. So if you're looking for a little more stability, but are willing to give up the possibility of returns, you can now create and have Wealthfront manage a strictly bond portfolio for you. And we're just going to run through this very quick. And just like you did before, you kind of answer a bunch of questions. Do you think you'll need this money? Pretty much what it's doing is if you answer specific ways, it's going to try and veer you towards some of their other services. So do you think you'll need to withdraw this money from your account within the next year? If you say yes, they're going to recommend the cash account. If you say no, it will allow you to proceed and say, hey, are you sure? Chances of losing money are low, but you might. If you say, yes, it's fine, you'll move forward. No, I can't take this, or actually I prefer. These are two other options. So we'll say yes. And here it's saying, based on my information, you're within this percent for taxes. And then I'll say, view the portfolio. So based on my current information, you can see it's annualizing your return after the fee, because you do have to pay that 2.5%, just like you would with the Roth IRA account or your investment account. And it says after that, you'll get 5.75 return. We can see I have short-term treasury, corporate bonds, floating rate, long-term. And if you need to know what any of these are, you simply come over to this eye here and it lets you know what's happening. Now, the only reason that I actually haven't started this type of account, even for testing, is this number here, 5.75. You saw I'm getting 5.3 just in my cash account. I don't necessarily know if I want to have bonds when my cash account is pretty close based on my current tax statuses. However, I probably will, at the end of this year, put $500 into this just to see what it would do. Now, you would confirm and continue, and that would open up your bond account, allowing you to have safer money than you would in your investment account, and the possibility of slightly better returns than you would in your cash account. However, this is not the only thing that Wealthfront has introduced in 2023. Again, this one's a little trickier to find, but right under transfer money, if you look down here, there's this option, send a wire. What is that? Well, you can now do wire transfers in Wealthfront. Wealthfront is really trying to be your all-purpose money application. And as I've been with them, as long as I have slowly seen these changes and evolutions to where it's becoming a one-stop shop. You can see you will need a cash account in order to do a wire transfer. I'm going to pull it from my personal account. I can send it to myself. I can send it to a title company. Right now, I can't do other, but we can see it's also only within the US right now. Wealthfront says you can get same-day transfers as long as you initiate the wire by 9:45 a.m. PT. So get a little extra time for myself. It only costs $10 per wire. Now, as somebody who's never actually wired anything, I'm not entirely sure how good that is, but the ability to do that from within Wealthfront is great for me if I ever needed to. One of the two other aspects that the wire has, based on Wealthfront's page, because they sent us this information when it first came out, if you were a customer, high instant approval, wires up to $500,000 are eligible for instant approval, meaning no extra hoops to jump through, or even your largest transfers. For amounts over $500,000, they do manually review your request to make sure that everything is okay. And then they also have destination account verification, because you don't want to accidentally wire something to somebody who you didn't actually mean to. And that has been my 7.5-year update for using Wealthfront as my primary investing vehicle. You can see they have made a lot of advancements in their service, and I have greatly enjoyed using them all this time. As I mentioned before, if you notice this 5.3% APY with the little rocket ship, well, that means I'm getting a boost. Now, if you're interested in getting a boost for yourself, either for $5,000 of invested monies managed fee-free, or having a boost of 0.5% extra for 3 months on a cash account, do please check the referral links that I will have down in the description area. I'm not sponsored by Wealthfront to actually make these reviews. If you choose to use the referral links, all well and good. You don't have to, but you might as well get a little extra cash back or have some of your money managed fee-free, because it doesn't cost you anything extra to use that link. If you appreciate the time and effort that goes into making long-running content like this, make sure to hit that like button to help other people find the video as well. If you like what I'm doing here and want to be notified of my next review, hit that subscribe button. If you're still not sure Wealthfront is the right investment platform for you, one of these two videos that's popping up now should help you in making a decision.